Hi, Paul Slack. It's Good News Planet. Actually, World Water Day, World Peace Day. I'm bringing these up. And Clearwater. Oh, I'm on the New York Friends of Clearwater, part of their one of their committees and stuff, and have been for a long time. And I'm saying Clearwater, 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 because David Toman. Hi, David. How are you?
Great. How are you?
All right, good. You have been announced as Clearwater's new executive director. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I started last Tuesday. So I'm in
Okay.
my second week already.
All right. Have you gone on Clearwater yet?
Well, the boat is actually up in Albany, getting a lot of work done. So it's not quite in a sailing shape right now, but it will be hopefully as soon as we get these projects complete and get it ready for another sailing season.
Well,
But absolutely, getting on the sloop is a key part of getting full understanding of Clearwater.
and the wonderful people. We've actually done a lot of shows with actually Pete Seeger and the Beacon Sloop Club and Clearwater over the years, and we're much in love with the importance of the mission and the people behind the mission. So, give us a little background on yourself.
Well, I've spent a long part of my career in the environmental education, environmental world, and nonprofit world, with my academic experience being in accounting and business. But I've moved into various program management. And so many of the aspects of what I have been able to accomplish in environmental education, environmental advocacy work really tie into who Clearwater is. And they're at a point right now in their history and time where I believe, and I believe that my business background and ability to help them in that regard and moving forward and into the future was a key component of what they wanted in the executive director position. So hopefully I'm bringing that skill. We'll find out in good time, but I'm going to give it my best for sure. And it's interesting. You mentioned the people of Clearwater. In the short period of time that I've been able to be with them, you're absolutely right. There is a huge commitment from so many people that just really have a strong tie to who Clearwater is, what Pete Seeger's vision was, and what the organization is able to accomplish in looking after our environment and bringing people together, both through the beauty and opportunity to sail on the sloop, as well as through music and just bringing people together to care for and really look out for the Hudson River and our environment in general.
I remember one time with Pete, we had a concert, and I forgot where it was at, whether the Judson or maybe it was Times Square. I don't know, but at Peace Day, this is a couple I just throw because it was good for you to know a little bit about, since I guess I got 20 plus years in with him, and so on. One time. You know how they line up the chairs like for a concert or something, like in rows, okay? And Pete said, no. Let's put them in a circle. Everybody's all together. We're all part, and we'll perform in the middle of, along with everybody. That was his modus operandi. Did you know Pete?
I did not. So I really wish I did. I certainly know of Pete Seeger and of Pete Seeger's music and his legacy of just activism and caring for everybody. So that I know of, but no, I never was fortunate enough to meet Pete.
You also said, here's another one for you. One time I asked him about, this land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island. And I said to Pete, we're into this one world kind of thing here, which is just a photo from the moon, right? Okay. I said, Pete, how about it? What's that? Is this song only about America? He goes, no, it depends when you start. If you go west from California,
you cover a lot of ground by the time you get to the New York Island, and a little bit of water along the way.
It was also, I'll give you one other one just for the fun of it. Another one was regarding a stop sign. Whatever, he said, a stop sign has two sides to it. One says stop and the other doesn't say anything. So which one do you do?
Well, that's being open-minded to the situation, that's for sure. Yeah. I've never thought of that, but I might take advantage of that one.
I never thought of it either. I'm sure these little, I'm sure you're going to be talking to people and These are I think I have them recorded somewhere. You're welcome to send people to our
What?
good news.
Yeah, and you talk about Pete and like the idea of putting chairs in the round and putting himself in with the group of the audience. But from what I've been able to learn and see and documentaries on Pete, it's also just reeling them into the song, right, and getting the audience to sing with them, and it being a collective rather than you just being an audience. And I think that spirit has certainly carried into Clearwater and how Clearwater operates. That's exciting.
By far, in fact, another one is our International Day of Peace. So we've been involved since 2002, and when I then took over Times Square, because I've been doing that for about 7 years, we create a human peace circle. Okay, with that same kind of Pete Seeger, and the show was a sing along, really, because of Pete's mindset of we're all singing together, we're all in it together.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Now, you were at Mohonk, right?
Mohonk Preserve. So right, there's the beautiful, iconic Mohonk Mountain House, the resort up here in the Shawangunk. And the Mohonk Preserve was the nonprofit land trust that operated land around the Mountain House's property and then connected to Minnewaska State Park. So I was with the preserve.
So you're used to like not such nice area to work in, right? I mean, this is like
kind of like pretty spots. Yes.
Yeah, poor torturous career you've had here. I can tell. You got something in Delaware too, right?
I did. So I was with Delaware Nature Society, and I was their offices were at their Ashland Nature Center, which in a suburbanized area, they had a beautiful place to operate from. Yeah. So yeah, I gravitate towards my natural environments that I enjoy so much.
Plum situations. Come on. Let's talk.
I like good views.
Now, I'll say also another thing, since I started as an accounting major, but somehow they made me stand up and pointed to me in intermediate accounting. Bertie Volane, I remember Quinnipiac, said, Slatkus, stand up. And he pointed at me. This is the old days in 70 or so. He said, marketing. He threw me out of accounting. So,
so you moved.
Accounting.
A little bit.
The accounting, and so they're very fortunate because in the reality, though, of accountants are the business mindset in the accounting mindset is I compare them to the guards and the tackles on a football team. There is no quarterback. There's no pretty boy. You're going down unless you have a strong foundation. What do you think in that regard?
And I agree that's what's critically important, right? So that you're using all the resources you have, people, your mission, and your financial resources as well, and you're using them in the best way possible to serve this cause that you're trying to achieve. And so you're right. I mean right. The Bradys of the world have done their best with a good line in front of them. Although I think Mahomes is the new name we gotta watch on that one. So hopefully that's one of the reasons I can bring a special skill to Clearwater's near future now and help them in that regard. So yeah, definitely something. And again, the purpose of it is so that you can do what you do better, and that's the value you gain.
What are some of the projects and outreach that you're like to either create or to reevaluate and move forwards? What are some of the thoughts?
Well, fortunately, the board just passed a new strategic plan in December. So I'm going to be charged and I think they did a really good job, a really thoughtful job of going through that. And so, my charge is going to help them make that come to fruition and bring that forward. So there is still the strong focus on the Hudson River, our environment, and how we take care of that, but how we engage people into that process, right? So it's not just about the Clearwater staff and the immediate volunteers, but how do we engage our communities and people into that aspect? We start by our education programs and bring people on board the ship, get them excited, let them see what it is that's important. And it's amazing how many people look back and like, yeah, I'm fourth grade. I was out on that boat. I remember that well, and it was a great experience, the kind that sticks with you. So that's all very important on how you bring all that together and keep that together. And Clearwater still has its music arm and its attachment to how that can gather people for a cause and share a mission and work together. So so my charge is definitely to work with this team and see how we can perpetuate the new strategic plan that they just passed, move forward on many of the aspects that we need to be concerned with. Environmentally, obviously, and very clearly, we have a global warming issue that is, we're now at the point of how are we a player in that? How do we help improve our situation in that regard? And how do we share the message so that people can play their part as well and take action? So all these things are what's important, and Clearwater provides a really viable way to gather people on that cause and try to take forward.
How about the concert? Well, I think we had a Clearwater concert in Croton.
We had a few of those. So the one for this upcoming year is not going to take place, and that's because of the logistics and concerns of how much lead time you need to actually put together an event like that. And with so many uncertainties, obviously around COVID and what our social circumstances are going to be, and the timeline that we would have needed to bring that to fruition in 2022, the board had made a decision not to back last year prior to my coming on board. But we're certainly going to keep in mind how that played a part and how do we re-engage and see what our opportunities are there.
Okay, great. I have a couple of shout outs if you don't mind. Sure. One is a gentleman named Phil Sowers, and Phil has the World Water Rescue Foundation, and Phil's the one who introduced me to Pete. And many years ago, and sung his praise. Pete created a song that was called "Water, Not Weapons." I'd like to mention that to you because we have a lot of renditions of this song, and we've performed it at many of our events. And Phil also was involved with creating the International Day of Water with the country of Tajikistan in the United Nations. So Phil has been very involved with the New York Friends. The second shout out I want to make sure I do is Donna Stein. She's magnificent. And this whole group over there is really do-gooders, smart as can be. She's doing a show there with Ken Gale too, Ecologic. They really got a lot going on, and we're celebrating World Water Day. We're going to push it into April 22nd because of COVID and things. So we look to support you, and you have our number here. You can contact us at any other time. Anything else you'd like to tell us, our audience at this time?
No, thank you for having me on and speaking with me. I really appreciate it, and I'm just excited to get started and like you pointed out in the very beginning, work with such a great group of people that have just a good, solid common cause.
All righty.
I'm fortunate. Yep. Thank you.
Good, David. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.